You know, I understand and I actually support the idea that we may, in fact, leave East-West psychology as a title for our program. And I want to say that if we do that, what that means is that East-West does no longer have to hold and be the primary metaphor for inclusion. In fact, the problem with East-West is that it's both too general and too limiting now. But East-West is in our DNA. And I think one of the things that will happen if we let go of East-West as the metaphor for inclusion, we can then start looking at East-West much more concretely. For example, Calcutta, San Francisco. That's the East-West line of Chaudhary. Paris, Pondicherry. That's the East-West line of the mother. And if we actually study those cities at the time that those great teachers were living and were absorbing the culture, I think we'll have a richer view of East-West psychology. And so that's what I want to do today, because I think the way integral yoga is understood, and integral yoga, by the way, is behind all the integral everything, integral psychology, integral philosophy. Integral yoga is what's behind it. And Chaudhary's view of it is not what the Chaudhary's view of it is not, I was about to say something mean about CIIS, and you see what happened. The CIIS website always talks about integral as body, mind, spirit, which is fine, but it's truly shorthand for a much more complex view of integral yoga. So Chaudhary's view is this. It is a modern synthesis of the ancient yogas of India, which exposes their inadequacy and their one-sidedness. This is very Chaudhary. You know, Chaudhary and Aurobindo were both in a big reclamation project about Indian philosophy and religion. And before they could reclaim the integrity of Indian philosophy and religion, they had to point out its problems. They're never talked about really at CIIS, like the inadequacy of the standard view of yoga. But Chaudhary had a way of looking both at the inadequacies and then seeing it in a fresh way, and this is how he did it. He talked about, so the following ideas are all like semester-long courses by Dr. Chaudhary. The yoga of the body, the yoga of love, the yoga of wisdom, the yoga of action. Those are all huge subjects. And Aurobindo's unique contribution to those yogas is to put them in the container of tantric yoga. Tantric yoga is the yoga in which God is worshipped as Divine Mother. That's why Aurobindo was so devoted to Divine Mother. Aurobindo is a classic tantric yogi. Actually, Chaudhary wasn't. Chaudhary always said he was more of a jnana yogi. He was a yogi of wisdom. But tantric yoga also does the following. It brings together the opposites. It brings together masculine and feminine being and becoming, time and eternity, this world, this body, and the reality beyond time and space. Tantric yoga does that. What Chaudhary added to this very rich soup was the insights of Western psychology, and in particular, Jungian psychology, and existential humanistic psychology, which were the cutting-edge psychologies in the 1960s and 70s in San Francisco. So it's important to see integral yoga as very culturally determined by Aurobindo's project and also by Chaudhary's project. And that also means it's open to you. Integral yoga, the integral perspective, is open for more elaborations. That's very much in the tradition of Aurobindo and Chaudhary. And also looking at what is one-sided now, what is inadequate now. So the only other thing I would just add is because integral yoga is a yoga, it is a practice, it is a discipline, It is a lifelong practice, a lifelong discipline. It is not an idea only. It is not an attitude only. It's a way of living. So with that, I'm going to just do a little meditation. And the meditation I want to do is actually it's going to be mostly silent, but I want to just give you a starter idea, which is Chaudhary's idea that you can begin practicing integral yoga immediately. And the way you do that is that you begin with an act of dedication. So close your eyes or soften your gaze, and let's just take some deep breaths. And let's make an offering of the work we are going to do today. So it's not just an event, it's an offering. It can be an offering to all living beings. It can be an offering to alleviate suffering. It can be an offering to Divine Mother, to Krishna, to Jesus. It's almost unimportant to whom the offering is made. It's the act of dedication. And the other thing I want to add to your meditation and to my meditation is this deep sense that I have of gratitude for this community, right here, the one sitting in this room, because this is the community that comes out of the work of Aurobindo and the Mother and Dr. Chaudhary. And I feel incredibly grateful to be part of it and to recognize that all of us are teachers and all of us are students in this community. So I'm going to invite you to end this meditation the way Dr. Chaudhary always ended meditations. You need to chant Om. So I'm going to start, or just join, let's just do a little Om chanting, because it will bring us right into the kind of energy field of the original CII.